Hi everyone, my name is Maxime Ryckewaert, and today I will talk about DeepMaxent, a deep learning version of Maxent designed for species distribution modeling based on presence-only data. This method was developed as part of the open project called BCube, where the objective of this project is to standardize biodiversity data into a cube format that can be used directly into GBIF and can be used to support public policies. Let's put SDM into a context of global change. Different land uses, invasive species, or climate change are the main causes of biodiversity loss. In this context, biodiversity data play a key role to monitor biodiversity. Some data are collected through citizen science applications like PlantNet or iNaturalist. In this presentation, we focus on presence-only data called PO data, which are subject to observation biases, such as heterogeneous sampling effort, seasonal effects, or other sources of bias. So what is SDM? Species distribution modeling refers to a set of statistical or machine learning methods used to predict species occurrence, abundance, or habitat suitability based on environmental covariance. In practice, we can think of it as two matrices. We have Y, which contains biodiversity data, where rows represent sites and columns represent species, and another matrix called X, which contains environmental covariates, where rows correspond to sites and columns to variables. So SDM is to model the relationship between biodiversity data and environmental covariance. For presence-only data, classical SDM methods are well established, with Maxent being one of the most widely used approaches. More recently, deep learning methods have started to emerge, typically relying on cross-entropy or binary cross-entropy losses, combined with architectures such as MLPs or CNN. In brief, Maxent is based on a loss function derived from the Poisson likelihood. We have lambda as the intensity of Poisson distribution, and this intensity is normalized. And Maxent uses uncrafted features transformation of input variables. Moreover, in Maxent, we have to define a separate model for each species. So we proposed DeepMaxent, also based on maximum entropy. We adapted the loss by using a normalization across sites using softmax function. And instead of using uncrafted transformation, we use neural networks to extract environmental features. The key advantage is that DeepMaxent is a multi-species model, meaning that we need a single model to train for all species simultaneously. In contrast to cross-entropy, where the normalization is done across species, here we normalize across sites, giving a relative probability of a site for a given species. We evaluated DeepMaxent using NCEAS dataset, a well-known benchmark to compare SDM methods. Models were trained on presence-only data and evaluated on presence-absence data using the area under curve matrix. The data set spans 6 regions and 5 taxonomic groups and can be considered as a relatively small data set. It's important to note that when we build a model for a given region and a given biological group, the target group background correction is implicitly applied in DeepMaxent or other method. This correction helps to reduce sampling bias. So Maxent already achieves a strong performance, but DeepMaxent further improves a little the results, even on relatively small data. We then tested DeepMaxent on 2 different cases of large-scale data set. The first one called BioClim GeoPlant, which is a reduced version of GeoPlant in order to compare with Maxent. And another big data where we use the whole dataset with 11,000 species using Landsat time series formatted into a cube, the data cubes. It's impossible to launch Maxent on this last use cases. In terms of results, DeepMaxent outperforms the other methods in both cases. It's also worth noting that in the second case, binary cross entropy performs well, especially when dealing with fine-grained resolution data, where biodiversity observations are often 0 or 1. In conclusion, DeepMaxent performs well on both cases when we have small data or where deep learning approaches are usually challenging, and on the large data sets where it offers a clear computational advantage, since only one model is required instead of 1,000 models. The paper describing DeepMaxent is currently under review, but available on arXiv. Please feel free to contact me if you are interested, so I can share the code tutorials here. Thank you.